You know something I think we get wrong about bad decisions? We focus on the moment we messed up. The drink, the text message, the argument, going back to somebody we knew we shouldn't go back to, spending money we knew we didn't have, losing our temper, giving up on something we promised ourselves we were going to finish. And then afterward, we sit there asking, why did I do that? But I don't really think that's the right question. Because that decision didn't start in that moment. Something happened before it. There was a feeling, a thought. There was something you told yourself. And then came the decision. So today, I don't want to talk about the moment you messed up. I want to talk about the moment before you messed up. Because that's usually where your life actually starts changing. Think about a pattern you keep repeating. Everybody has one. Maybe when you get stressed, you shut everybody out. Maybe when you get lonely, you go back to somebody you know isn't good for you. Maybe when you get angry, you say things you regret 5 minutes later. Maybe when life starts getting uncomfortable, you quit. Whatever your reason is, don't just look at what you do. Go backwards. What happened first? Because patterns aren't random. They're usually a sequence. Something happens. You feel something. You tell yourself something. Then you make a decision. And then you deal with whatever comes after it. That's one of the things we really focus on through our Guilty of Change mentorship programs at Corrections Reflections. Not just what did you do, but what happened before you did it. Because if you only keep trying to fix the outcome, you're going to keep missing what creates it. I want you to think about one season of your life where things kept going wrong. Maybe it felt like everything was happening to you. Relationship after relationship. Problem after problem. Same arguments. Same consequences. Same disappointment. Different day. But looking back now, was it really different every time? Or was there a pattern underneath all of it? That's a hard question, because once you see the pattern, you can't keep calling everything bad luck. You start realizing. Every time I felt rejected, I reacted like this. Every time I got overwhelmed, I escaped like this. Every time I got some money, I spent it like this. Every time I felt alone, I called that person. Every time somebody challenged me, I got defensive. Now we're getting somewhere, because that's not random anymore. It's a cycle. And once you can see the cycle, you've got something you can actually work on. Most people pay attention to behavior. I think you need to pay attention to feelings too. What feeling normally shows up before your worst decisions? Is it stress, anger, loneliness, boredom, fear, rejection, feeling disrespected, feeling like you're not enough? Because a feeling by itself isn't the problem. The problem is what you've trained yourself to do when that feeling shows up. Maybe every time you're stressed, you need an escape. Maybe every time you're angry, you need someone else to feel your anger too. Maybe every time you're lonely, You accept attention from people you know don't belong in your life. Now imagine doing that for 10 more years. Eventually, you don't even think about it anymore. Stress just shows up. Patterns start. That's how people end up saying, "That's just how I am." No. That may be what you've practiced. That may be what you've repeated. But repetition and identity are not the same thing. And if a pattern was learned, a different pattern can be built. Here's the part I think people miss. Between the feeling and the decision, there's usually a sentence. Something you tell yourself that gives you permission. Just this once. I deserve it. They did it to me first. Who cares? I've already messed everything up anyway. I'll start over tomorrow. I'm just gonna text them. Nothing's gonna happen. You know the sentence. We all have one. And that little sentence in your head matters, because that's the moment where you turn something you know is wrong into something that feels acceptable. That's where accountability has to show up, not after the consequences, before the decision. That's where you catch yourself. Now here's where this gets uncomfortable. A lot of us already know. You know what habit needs to change. You know what environment brings out the worst in you. You know what person keeps pulling you backwards. You know what you keep doing. So the problem isn't always knowledge. Sometimes the problem is that knowing hasn't turned into doing. That's a huge part of what we teach inside the Guilty of Change. Real change requires awareness, decision, action. Awareness is seeing it. Decision is saying, I'm not doing this anymore. And action is proving that decision when the feeling comes back. Because one good conversation doesn't change your life. One emotional night doesn't change your life. One promise doesn't change your life. What you repeat changes your life. Real change isn't just understanding yourself better. It's behaving differently because of what you understand. So how do you actually change it? You interrupt the pattern earlier. Not after the damage, but earlier. Let's say your pattern is you get stressed. You start thinking, I can't deal with this. Then you reach for the thing you always use to escape. The new pattern has to start before that last step. Stress shows up, you recognize it, you name it. Then instead of letting your brain automatically choose the old behavior, you already know what happens next. Maybe you walk. Maybe you call somebody. Maybe you leave the environment. Maybe you put your phone down. Maybe you go to the gym. Maybe you sit with the feeling for 10 minutes instead of immediately escaping it. Whatever your replacement is, you decide before the moment comes. Because if you're trying to build the plan while you're already triggered, you're probably going to choose what's familiar.